Hello, and welcome to the FringeRX podcast. I'm Anna Strong, and I'm on a mission to find a cure for autoimmune. We talk education, healing, support, do's, don'ts, wins, and losses, all to improve our quality of life. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to FringeRX. I am so excited today because from Tennessee, I have a beautiful girl here. She's ready to talk to her. She's from Tennessee, but oddly enough, her name is Georgia. It's Georgia Katie. Katie, come on in.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm here at the studios in Manhattan Beach, and we're flying you all the way in via remotely from Tennessee. Where you currently squatted?
I am in my bedroom. In
Okay.
My house.
Do you
And that's in
do you live in a house,
Sorry.
apartment?
I do. I live in a house.
You live in a house? And tell us how old you are, because you look very young.
I'm 24.
24 years old. How long have you had an autoimmune condition?
Difficult to say for when it onset, but I was 22 when I was diagnosed.
Okay, so 22 when you were formally diagnosed, and as most of us in the AI community, it takes a while to get a diagnosis. When do you think you you should have been diagnosed?
I think probably when I was 21 was when things really got to a degree of being bad, but when I look back on it, I was showing symptoms from the time I was 18.
Okay. Did it affect you as far as like going to school or socially or and
Oh,
what?
definitely both.
Yeah.
Um,
What were your symptoms? I mean, what exactly was happening before you were diagnosed? And
well,
what was your first diagnosis?
the first symptom that I got that was really bad that affected me both socially and uh, academically was I wasn't able to continue school and I lost a lot of my friends because of the fatigue. And that was the main symptom that really persisted the most. And my first diagnosis when I was 22 was with lupus.
Oh, really? Lupus. Did your doctor take the time to like explain to you what that was, or how exactly did it come down?
I think I had to rely mostly on myself for educating myself. I knew what lupus was prior to being diagnosed because it was one of the things I suspected. But my doctor gave me a little bit of education.
What do you have family members with lupus? What would make you think lupus?
No, I had the butterfly rash, and when I was trying to look up different kinds of rashes, lupus was pretty exclusive to what would cause that.
Wow. Thank God for the internet. So what was it? What was the rash? It was
The butterfly rash, it's redness across the cheeks and nose that's exclusive to lupus, and now I'm finding out sometimes other autoimmune diseases.
see, I didn't know that. So there's an educational thing right there for our viewers. I like that. Now, lupus was your first diagnosis, and I'm looking at the list that I have for you down here. I have long QT syndrome. What is that?
I'm still not to this day really sure what that is. Mine was drug induced. It's a heart condition, and it was explained to me, your heart tries to beat sooner than it wants to, or sooner than it's supposed to. Still unclear on that one.
Oh, wow. This was caused by a pharmaceutical drug?
Yes, it was caused by one of the psychiatric meds I was taking at the time.
Wow. Yeah, the side effects is the one thing that bothers me the most about the prescriptions that some people have to go on because of the autoimmune condition. Was the psychiatric drug before or after the lupus diagnosis?
This was before.
Okay. So I also see down here that you have ADHD, which is join the club because I have that one. What? And a list of other problems, but these are these still affecting you today as far as dealing with a chronic illness that basically they're telling you or is degenerative, that it's going to get worse? Is it messing with you psych wise?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like every time that I go to a doctor's appointment, I get some new diagnosis thrown at me, and that's a lot to juggle.
Do you have
Being
anybody
this,
in your support system to help you deal with this?
definitely, I have really supportive friends. I have a very supportive mother. Both my parents are very supportive. And yeah, my friends and family have been very accepting and supporting of me during this whole adventure.
In this little tiny town of Crossville, is there anybody else that's affected with autoimmune like yourself?
Yes, I actually met one of my best friends. She also has lupus. Her name is Eden. I met her whenever I was looking into a clinical trial drug for lupus towards the end of the first year I was diagnosed.
So have you gone in on any clinical trials?
No, I have not. I didn't qualify for that one.
Okay. What are you doing outside of the host of prescriptions that you have on? You have gabapentin. I love these because you can't pronounce any of these. They're
Right.
they're based in Latin. I know what tramadol is. Um, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doxycycline.
Doxycycline. Oh, those are all ones that I've had to try in the past.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that one sounds familiar. Which ones are you on now? How many?
Right now, I'm just taking Lyrica, a nerve pain pill. My rheumatologist oversees me being on that. I took a break from trying out the drugs that alter your immune system because the side effects are really just so much doing more harm than good for
Which
me.
ones did you try?
I tried Plaquenil, the hydroxychloroquine.
I tried that
I
one.
tried. I tried other meds for pain like gabapentin and tramadol.
But the ones that you're on right now are working for you or no?
Yeah, they seem to be. They're the best thing that I've tried so far with the least amount of side effects.
Okay. When you say least amount of side effects, what side effects are you experiencing?
Probably still some. They contribute a little to my fatigue.
Okay.
Um, have to be very structured in the time that I take them.
Now, I hope you, as I do, have really good insurance.
Oh,
You need
yes.
insurance. You need really good
Yes,
insurance. Um, uh,
definitely.
and your medication is covered?
Yes, it's all pretty much covered. There's just been a few things, like some weight loss medication that hasn't been covered because it's been off-label use. Um, Last year, I actually hit my deductible for the first time, so for like half the year, all my prescriptions were free.
Yeah, yeah, I hit my deductible. um, uh, yeah, I mean, as far as you were diagnosed with hepatitis C at one point, and your insurance wasn't going to cover the medication for that?
Oh, yes, they were going to cover that, and they
Because
did cover
yeah, but did you have to fight for it? Because I mean, in my notes I have that
Oh,
that.
I actually didn't. A lot of people that do, though. I got very lucky in my situation.
Yeah, you know what, that is one of the cures that they've come up with in the past decade, because we don't usually get to see diseases get cured, but that one you can actually completely get over, and you did.
Yes, I did. It was pretty remarkable. I had almost no side effects from the treatment. It was just 3 months, one pill a day, and then I was back to like it never happened.
So are you currently working or are you on disability?
I'm on disability.
Okay. And when you were first diagnosed, were you working at the time? Did it stop you from
No,
going to work?
I had stopped working about a year and a half before getting diagnosed, because my symptoms were progressing. I didn't know what they were at the time, didn't have any answers, but
Tell me what the progression was as far as like you know, from you not knowing, and how did you get to the right people to at least give you a diagnosis and get you some help?
it was very abrupt. I kind of had a few symptoms here and there that got worse and worse until very quickly, until I was unable to take care of myself. And I was living in Lexington, Kentucky at the time, living by myself. And my mom kind of intervened at a certain point and couldn't see me that way anymore. And I moved back home and she took care of me and got me in with the doctors. And it was pretty quickly that the diagnoses started coming one after the other
Yeah,
after
well,
my first blood work.
luckily, I shouldn't say luckily, but lupus is one of the autoimmune diseases that is not that rare. So at least they're screening for that, like, you know, right away. Do you think there have you? I mean, have you looked into any ulterior like therapies that you could do besides just the pharmaceutical route?
The most alternative kind of treatment that I've looked into was whenever I found out I also had a tick-borne infection, and I treated that. It's different than treating an autoimmune disease. It's hardcore antibiotics for a very long time, which was wreaking havoc on my gut, of course, but I did see a decrease in my autoimmune symptoms and some of
At the
my
time you were
numbers.
taking the antibiotics, right?
Yes,
You
and
saw a
even now
decrease
still.
on that, right?
Mhm.
Did it get rid of the Lyme disease?
I had STARI, that's kind of like the southern version of Lyme, southern tick-associated rash illness, and there's no way to tell if it got rid of it per se, but the symptoms are very much alleviated to the point that I don't notice what would be traditionally associated with STARI anymore.
And a lot of people are saying that that autoimmune has a very foundation of a like a leaky gut that often is caused by antibiotics with an
Mhm.
imbalance of the bacteria in the microbiome. But you were on a very extensive amount of time with the antibiotic. How long?
I did IV antibiotics for 4 months, and then I did oral antibiotics for 4 months.
Okay, that's a long time, yeah.
Mhm.
I was on them for about 6 weeks, and honestly, I probably would have died without them. Sometimes you do need antibiotics. So, but how did you find out that you had Lyme disease? I mean, did you find a tick on you, or I mean, how did you know?
No, I was having just all kinds of, once I got diagnosed with the first autoimmune diseases, I became kind of paranoid and obsessed that all this other stuff was wrong with me and got tested for a bunch of other things and did show up for some of the tick viruses. So I was sent to an infectious disease doctor who did a panel on me of some sort, and then that was definitively diagnosed, and he oversaw the treatment of that, and he agrees that it contributed to the autoimmune diseases developing in the first place.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, I've heard that also that Lyme disease, untreated and undetected, can also flip the immune system over. Have you heard of stem cell therapy at all, being able to cure autoimmune?
I have. I've not heard that it cures autoimmune, but I've heard a little bit about how amazing they can be for symptoms.
Yeah, and has your doctor talked to you about that at all?
No, not any of them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a therapy all over the world except for in the United States. You actually have to be really, really bad, you know, like probably, this is the last thing, and then maybe they'll give you a referral to do stem cell therapy. But right now, it is not, it's not mainstream. And I don't know why, because I really do think that this is our ticket to ride as far as like flipping the immune system over and being able to cure 120 different diseases at one time. It's like, come on, get it together, USA. But yeah, look into it, Google it, ask your doctor. If you can, please, call your representative or whatever and tell them to ask our government to get off of their proverbial ass and start doing some real research into stem cell therapy, because I really do think that it would save millions of people, 300 million people to be exact, over 300 million people have an autoimmune that could be, either cured or at least, given some relief on. I've had it done. I had to go out of the country. I went to Mexico. So, and I also saw you're doing LDN, low dose nitroxin.
Yes, I took that for several months. That's kind of not really experimental, but experimental in the autoimmune aspect.
It is, yeah. Did your doctor tell you about this?
I told my doctor about it.
There you go. Sometimes we do. We have to educate our doctors. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff being said about low dose nitroxin. But the odd thing is the stem cell therapy, we haven't figured out how to make that a prescription or to make money off of that one. But LDN is such an affordable drug that the pharmacies don't really push that one. So therefore your doctors aren't educated about it, because it's all this money cycle of, we're pushing this drug this week, try this one out. But the LDN, very cost efficient, and you can basically, as long as you have a prescription, you can get it online. So it's not that bad at all. I tried that for a while. I didn't see a major difference, but it didn't hurt me either. I didn't get any side effects or anything like that. So, is there anything else that you would recommend? I see you got bats in your belfry up there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely just making time for yourself. That's the best non-prescription, straightforward treatment there is if you don't take the time to really take care of yourself, you're going to have burnout, you're going to run yourself down, and you can't possibly heal if you're not doing things to contribute to that every day.
So, so if you could put like your recommendations into a little hat box, what can you tell our audience? What can they do besides, sheepishly go to the doctor and maybe get handed a prescription that gives them side effects, and and a lot of people, they'll put up with it and put up with their doctor because that's what they're supposed to do. But you should really, if you're getting side effects with any pharmacy kind of thing, because everybody's different, you got to complain right away. What else can you tell our audience that you do that works?
Definitely educate yourself, because regardless if you're going to go a completely pharmaceutical or a completely homeopathic route of treating your illness, you have to be educated before you make certain decisions and before you see certain doctors or whoever you're going to see for it. And being educated and advocating for yourself is also one of the greatest ways you're going to make milestones in your treatment.
Is there anything that you did mistakenly that you would warn somebody not to do?
Probably jump into pharmaceuticals. They definitely have their place, I think, but I was all too confused and scared and leaned very heavily into thinking there was just going to be some kind of pill that would make everything go back to normal, and in reality there's just not.
So it's been more of a I would say a tiered thing that you're doing, like more than one thing. How about
Yes,
your lifestyle? I mean, you moved back home. Is it less stressful for you?
It's definitely less stressful having just someone that on bad days I can depend on to get me through them, not only physically, but, emotionally. Having someone I trust there if something were to go wrong, not having to always yourself be the person you fall back on at the end of the day. It's just nice to have a break from that to really start focusing on healing and coming back up.
Yeah, well, you know what? Giving this social distancing crap too that we have to put up with, that you're contained in a house with people that love you is really, really good. Is there anything that we can tell specifically with lupus? Is there a particular organization that you advocate that is supportive within that community?
I haven't seen one locally that I've been a part of. I know that Lupus Alliance is one online that I see advocate a lot and have a lot of news come out about trials and new medications and new therapies.
Okay, and do you, with this condition, do you get a little loopy? Ha ha ha! No, I'm kidding.
I like that pun.
That was really
Yeah,
stupid. I'm sorry.
definitely. I'm gonna keep that one in mind.
Yeah, there you go. You also do an Instagram. How can we follow you?
What was that? I'm
How
sorry.
can we follow you?
Oh, I'm at chronically_thrill, and you can follow me there.
Okay, and what is your focus? What are you putting out there for people?
It's kind of just a lifestyle blog in the form of an Instagram account, I guess, that just really gets snapshots of what it's like to really live with a chronic illness.
And being Tennessee.
Yes.
Rocky
Yes,
Town,
definitely.
Tennessee. Well, thank you very much. You've been a wealth of information. I want to thank you for putting yourself out there as far as being brave enough to talk about your personal journey and to give an inspiration to other people. So thank you very much. Georgia from Tennessee.
Thank you
We
for
love you,
having
babe.
me.
Okay, that's our show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.